This is my sixth recording number six, and fifth recording for the book Atomic Habits. And we were on chapter 2. I have made two recordings previously on this chapter. I talked about I talked about three layers of behavior change, how identity affects behavior, and in this video, I can talk about how habits affect the identity. So, to give a recap of these two ideas, he talked about that there are three kinds of change. One is changing our goals, what we want to achieve. The other is changing our processes, how we actually approach those goals, what we actually do, and identity. And the last one is identity, what we think, what we believe in. And he argues that all three changes are important. Of course, we want good goals, we want good processes, and we also want good identity, but we must begin with changing our identity. How identity affects behavior. He says, uh, what your behavior is a reflection of your identity. Here he says that what you do shows what you actually believe in, either consciously or non-consciously, depending on if you rest too much or if you eat too much junk food. That shows that you believe in comfort. If you exercise a lot and you don't rest more than you need, then it shows that you believe in discomfort. So whatever you're doing right now, from the beginning of the day to the ending, it shows what you actually believe in. And to actually have a lasting behavior change, you must change what you believe in. That's the second part. Now we are going to talk about the third part, how habits affect identity. So he's flipping the script. Not only your beliefs change your behavior, but your behavior changes your beliefs. The two-step process to changing your identity. The two-step process to changing your identity. Your identity emerges out of your habits. You are not born with present preset beliefs. You are not born with preset beliefs. Every belief, including those about yourself, is learned and conditioned through experience. Yeah, that's a very powerful point. Whatever you believe in right now doesn't mean that you were born with those beliefs or those are set in stone. They emerged from your habits, and you can start building better habits, and after a few months or years, your new identity will emerge out of those habits. More precisely, your habits are how you embody your identity. When you make your bed each day, you embody the identity of an organized person. When you train each day, you embody the identity of an athletic person. Interesting. So, our behavior shows what we believe in. I think we talked about this in the previous one. Our behavior is a reflection of our identity. The more you repeat the behavior, the more you reinforce the identity associated with that behavior. Yeah, in this case, we need to be careful what we do, right? If we are not careful about what we do, we might be creating self destructive habits and beliefs. Whatever your identity is right now, you only believe it because you have proof of it. You only believe it because you have proof of it. If you go to the gym, even when it's snowing, you have evidence that you are committed to fitness. Whatever your identity is right now, you only believe it because you have proof of it. If you go to the gym, even when it's snowing, you have evidence that you are committed to fitness. You need evidence to build a new identity. That's the idea. You can't just, you will have to start believing that you can change your identity. You will need to have a growth mindset, but you can't just think that I'm an athletic person and start enjoying going to the gym. That won't happen. But the previous part was telling you that your identity affects your behavior, so you need to be careful what you believe in. But in order to change your belief, you can't just change it out of nowhere. You will need to actually change your behavior. You will need to change the evidence, as he says. Whatever your identity is right now, you only believe it because you have proof of it. If you go to the gym, even when it's snowing, you have evidence that you are committed to fitness. The effect of one-off The effect of one-off experiences tends to fade away, while the effect of habits gets reinforced with time, which means your habits contribute most of the evidence that shape your identity. Yeah. So that's what happens when reading one self-help book doesn't make a huge dent in someone's progress. Or going to a seminar or studying for a few days. Those are one-off experiences, things that you don't repeat every day. But habits are behavior that we repeat every day, most of them unconsciously. They contribute to most of what we believe in. We do not change by snapping our fingers and deciding to be someone entirely new. We change bit by bit, day by day, habit by habit. Yeah, I think I talked about this when I was saying this part. Yeah, you can't change your identity quickly. You need to be patient. You need to trust the process. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Every action you take is a vote. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. No single instance will transform your beliefs, but as the votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. This is one reason why meaningful change does not require radical change. Small habits can make a meaningful difference by providing evidence for a new identity. So he's taking the biggest change is identity change. And identity change come from small changes. So that's why small changes can lead to bigger results. Because once you start believing in yourself, then you are not doing anything new, right? That's what we talked about previously. Then you are not pursuing a change once you start believing in it. You are just living in accordance to it. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Exactly. No single instance will transform your beliefs. But as the votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. This is one reason why meaningful change does not require radical change. This is one reason meaningful change does not require radical change. Small habits can make a meaningful difference by providing evidence of a new identity. Putting this all together, you can see that habits putting this all together, you can see that habits are the path to changing your identity. The most practical way to change who you are is to change what you do. What you do. Exactly. Our beliefs came from our actions, and when we change our actions, our beliefs will change as well. When votes mount up and the evidence begins to change, the story you tell yourself begins to change as well. Of course, it works the opposite way too. Every time you choose to perform a bad habit, it's a vote for that identity. Exactly, yeah. So it's like you are choosing the path. You cannot be in two boats at the same time. You cannot have the identity of a successful and an unsuccessful person at the same time. You cannot enjoy both places. So whenever you perform a harmful action, it will also add a vote for that identity, and whenever you will perform a beneficial action, that will also provide a vote for the identity for a successful person. So you need to be very careful what you do. New identities require new evidence. If you keep casting the same votes you have always cast, you are going to get the same results you have always had. If nothing changes, nothing is going to change. It's a simple two-step process. Decide the type of person you want to be, prove it to yourself with the small wins. Yeah, the idea is small wins. It's very important. You don't need radical change, you need to just make small improvements on a consistent basis. What do you want to stand for? What are your principles and values? What do you wish to become? Ask yourself, who is the type of person that can get the outcome I want? Who is the type of person that could learn a new language, for example? The concept of identity based habits is our first introduction to another key theme in this book. Feedback loops. Feedback loops. When the outcome of an event becomes the input of the other event, feedback loops. Your habits shape your identity, and your identity shapes your habits, right? Your habits change your identity, and then your identity change your habits. That's essentially what a feedback loop is. When the output becomes the input for the next iteration, your habits shape your identity, and your identity shapes your habits. And that's why we say that good habits attract more good habits. When you make good habits, it changes your identity. When your identity is good, you will perform even more good habits. However, when you have bad habits, you have a bad identity, and when you have a bad identity, you will make even more bad habits. I have a very simple example. So when someone starts using social media, they starts with one app, but over time they will try even newer apps. They start with Facebook, YouTube, then they start using Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Reddit, LinkedIn. So that's what happens. One habit shapes the identity, and that identity shapes the habits. After using one social media app, you become the type of person who uses social media, and when you have that identity, you will try out even more apps. It's a two-way street, so you can either go forward or backward. The formation of all habits is a feedback loop, a concept that we will explore in depth in the next chapter, but it's important to let your values, principles, and identity drive the loop rather than your results. Yeah, so he's talking about that. Layers of change. So, values, principle, identity, that's the deepest layer that we want to Ponder upon right now what should we actually value, what should be our principles and identity, and then we change our habits. Prove it to yourself with the small wins. The focus should always be on becoming that type of person, not getting a particular outcome exactly. Because he had a long part on why goals are not good. Because if we fixate too much on outcomes, we won't be able to focus on our actions. And even if we focus on our actions, what would happen after achieving the outcome? Do we get back to our old routine? So that's why the focus should be on becoming the type of person, not getting an outcome. So this is it for this video, I believe. And then we have this one. Okay, this is a very short one. I think I can cover it in this video. The real reason habits matter. Identity change is the North Star of habit change. Exactly. You need to know who you want to be. Otherwise, your quest for change is like a boat without a rudder. And that's why we are starting here. Exactly. You need to know who you want to be. Otherwise, you will be pursuing anything that other people throw at you. And that will be a very, what do I say, very meaningless existence. Following others, seeing what other people are doing, and seeing what is trendy. So that's like a boat without a rudder, just drifting away in a sea. You need to know who you want to be so that you can say no to the things that don't matter to you. They might matter to other people, but they won't matter to you. That's why you need to know what you want to be. Identity change is the North Star of habit change. You need to know who you want to be, otherwise, your quest for change is like a boat without a rudder. And that's why we are starting here. Yeah. I have my own personal experience. I got into a habit of watching cooking videos because that was fun. But over time, I realized that I'm wasting my time. For other people, watching cooking videos might be helpful, but for me, it was just a waste of time. So it was like I was like a boat without a rudder. I didn't know what to do with my time. I decided to watch cooking videos. So you need to know what you want to do so you can say no to the things that are irrelevant to you. You have the power to change your beliefs about yourself. You need to have a growth mindset, the the idea that you can actually improve. Before you start improving, you need to believe that you can improve. You have the power to change your beliefs about yourself. Your identity is not set in stone. You have a choice in every moment. Exactly, you have a choice. You have a choice in every moment. Every moment you have a choice. You can choose the identity you want to reinforce today with the habits you choose today. You can start with today. You can start with today. Choose what you want to do. If you want to become an athletic person, try walking 10 to 15 minutes every day. If if you want to become a healthy person, start with saying no to the foods that don't benefit you. Start saying no to sugar. You have the choice that you can choose today. You have a choice today. If you want to become a smart person, you can choose to read a book today. You always have a choice. If you want to relax, you can choose to not use your phone today. You always have a choice in every moment. Don't let your past patterns dictate what you do. Don't let your past destructive patterns dictate what you do. You can choose today. You can choose right now. Ultimately, your habits matter because they help you become the type of person you wish to be. You wish to be. They are the channel through which you develop your deepest beliefs about yourself. Quite literally, you become your habits. Mm. Your habits change your beliefs. Habits matter because they help you become the type of person you want to be. You can't just become a new person by thinking about it. You need to prove it through small wins. So that's why habits matter. Habits matter because they help you become the person you want to be, not because of the results you can get, although they can help you with them, but that won't be a very fulfilling life. A fulfilling life is to become the type of person you want to become. And yeah, that's it for this chapter. We can go to the summary in the next video, and then we will begin the next one, the chapter number 3. So this is it for today, and bye bye.